And good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray. This is Black Success Magazine, the podcast. And good Friday to everybody out across the fruited plain. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. This is Black Success Magazine podcast. It's Good Friday. April 2nd here in Las Vegas. Just celebrating a beautiful day. If you want to be in a beautiful place, you want to be in Las Vegas, April, late March, early April. It's just spectacular here. And I can't think of a better time to be here than on Good Friday during just a beautiful, beautiful time. So we've got today's Open Mic Friday today on Black Success Magazine, the podcast, which means it's all about you. If you've got a question, you've got a comment that you'd like to, it's about you. So I'm just going to sit back here and drink coffee and let you talk about whatever you want to talk about. No, I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of stuff going on today. And before we get going here, just to remind you that, so a lot of you folks have been waiting about the website. Is the website up? Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, should I show it? Here, let me do something real quick. I'm going to go over to the website. And then I'm going to show you what the website looks like right now. I want to make sure it can actually put it up. Well, maybe I'll do it in just a couple seconds here. But you can actually go over to our website. It is up and running. Cool stuff on it. We've revamped the website somewhat and also added some new sections in it, which is real cool. I'm going to go over to it right now. And then you can actually check it out. And let's see here. See if we can actually bring it up really quick here. So I'm going to show you our website. So this is Black Success Magazine podcast. Now look, our Black Success Magazine, and if you can see, we've actually changed we've changed things a little bit because so a lot of the stuff we talk about during the week, because a lot of people are going, well, sure, we'd like to find out what those articles are that you're talking about all week long, and so we've actually put them on the page. So they're right here, and then of course you can scroll down. Got some of the blog stuff. Podcast down here, you can actually read the magazine. Can you see that? I think you can see that the page kind of flips over, and you've got any number of pages on it. You've got the podcast page, video pages. That's right. We actually have videos on the website, which you can always check out. So let's see if will it go over there. Doesn't look like it's moving over there. Yeah, it should. Anyways, so that is our website, and you can check out our website over at Black Success Magazine, which is cool. But once again, we are going to today is really about you. It's about whatever questions you want to talk about. If you really, some people just don't want to be online. To give me a question. So you can always send me an email at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com, and you can always ask me a question, which is I'm open to that. That's where a lot of people actually have their questions read on air. So you can do that. Once again, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. So today, though, folks, it is Marvin Gaye's birthday. Yeah. Before we get started with any of the questions, let's talk about Marvin Gaye, can we? Marvin Gaye, many of you know him. He sang for Motown for many years, and then he made a break from Motown. And you know what his first song was? What he came. It's the one that most everybody knows about. Yeah. When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. How? That was his first song after leaving Motown. He died April 1st, 1984. And if he had lived, today would have been his birthday. He would have been 82 years of age. I remember when Marvin Gaye died. For those of you who have been a part of the show for a while, know Marvin, or I used to be a singer, so I was singing on the road. That's why I still have a guitar back behind my shoulder. I play my guitar every once in a while, but I used to be on the road, and I remember I was in Denver, Colorado. It was the Fairmont Hotel, which is really a nice hotel. I was at the Fairmont Hotel, and one of the guys said, "Sherman, Marvin Gaye died." This was in 1984. I remember it as clear as day that he said, yeah, Marvin's dead. That his dad killed him. And we mourned. I mean, it's a black group, and many of us had that connection with Marvin Gaye. And it was the most terrible news you could ever imagine. So, we take time out today just to say, Marvin Gaye died today. So it's just a kind of a tragic thing. As I said before, today is Open Mic Friday, and we're going to. There's a couple of questions that people have asked already, and like I said, if you want to ask a question, you can always send me a question at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. I won't be able to get to it right now because I would have to open my email, and which would be disastrous at this point. But you could, if you'd like your question read on air, always just send me an email, blacksuccessmagazine.com, and we will get to your questions. So the first question, who the heck is this? Michael. Michael is from Alabama. Is this the same question we had from last week? No. Michael actually watched. Okay. So Michael's question is, Lewis Hamilton won the first race of the Formula One season. Okay. So this guy knows me already. So Eddie says, do you think he will repeat as the Formula One drivers champion this week or this year? So Michael must have been watching our show, which on Monday also, which is very interesting, that Lewis Hamilton, for those of you who don't know, it's Sir Lewis Hamilton, because he was knighted by the Queen of England. He's a British driver, black guy, British driver, and he had a race in Dubai. Yeah, Dubai over the weekend, and he won the race. It was a nail biter, just a nail biter. His car was not the fastest on the grid, but Mercedes, the team that he drives for, was the smartest team there, and the strategy was it was an incredible race. It's probably the closest race I've seen in Formula One ever. I mean, ever. This was like, it went down to literally the last 2 laps. It was actually the last lap, because the guy who came in second place was literally seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. Lewis normally beats everybody by 10 seconds or whatever it is, which in Formula One racing is a long way. In this one, it was literally like a second. It was like that close, and the guy was coming down. But so the answer to your question, Michael from Alabama, is yes. I think Lewis Hamilton is going to repeat. He's a 7-time champion. I think he's going to repeat again. I don't think anybody has got the pace. That's British. That's the way they say it in Europe. Don't have the pace to beat Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, I do think so. David in Seattle. David in Seattle says, entertainment. Who should be the next action superhero? Oh, the Falcon or someone else? Okay, so this is a good one too. So you guys know that there's a new movie coming out. What an interesting question. Who should it be the Falcon? Should he be the next superhero, or should it be someone else? I'm down with the Falcon. I think the Falcon's a great. Right now he's trending. So yeah, I can't imagine him not being something cool like that. I know that their series, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it just started. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, that just came out. I think it's a Marvel comic. So yeah, I think and I forgot the guy's name, who is the Falcon. The Falcon is played by a black actor. Forgot the guy's name. But yeah, he'd be a great superhero. It's fairly believable that a guy can fly around with a suit on, but I think it'd be cool. And to tell you the truth, any one of the Marvel comics, DC comics guys could be a black superhero. They're imaginary people, so just change them. Thor could be a black. It doesn't have to be a flowing blonde-haired guy. It could be anybody. So yes, thank you for that question, David. Good question. It's Open Mic Friday on Black Success Magazine, the podcast, and so where we listen to whatever you want to talk about. If you got something you want to talk to me about, that's fine. And somebody took me up on this because they're asking me a political question. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. This question, once again, I rarely ever get into the political arena for obvious reasons because it's not a political show, but somebody decided that they want to ask a question anyways. And the question is, Stacey Abrams is predicted to run for governor in Georgia again. What do you think her prospects of winning are? And this is Janet. She's from Port-au-Prince. Oh my gosh, that's not even in America. Hey, very cool. Port-au-Prince. So Stacey Abrams, for those of you, and I do follow politics, guys. It's just we just never talk about it here because it's, this is Black Success Magazine. It's not Black Politics Magazine. So Janet's question is, do I think Stacey Abrams has a prospect of winning? Of course. Yeah, I think if the people in Georgia decide that they want to win, if they want her to be the governor of Georgia, I think, yes, she's been working hard. She's got a ground game. Matter of fact, she can definitely put the voters together. There's no doubt about it. She just got 2 senators elected. So if she can get them elected in a formerly Republican state, there's no reason why I don't think that Stacey Abrams could actually pull it off. And that's my thing. That's as far as I really go in politics. I'm just not going to. There's other people who do that right, much better. There's another question. What is this? I'm cleaning my glasses here, so it's a tough one. Politics. Oh, and even closer. COVID. Have you received your shot yet? She's talking about me, I guess. Have you received your shot yet? So this is a question to me. And if not, will you when it is your turn and why? And this is Nikisha. She's from Baltimore. Okay, so interesting question. I have not received my COVID shot yet. It is here in the state of Nevada. I'm not old enough at this point, but I believe our state is opening it up to everybody, which I'll be in that mix with everybody. Excuse me. In a couple more days. And so, and I will. So to answer your question, and I got to tell you something about this. To answer your question, yes, I will get the shot. I have no problem with getting the shot myself. So here's the deal. A lot of people don't want to take the COVID shot. And actually have some other broadcasting friends who they voice their opinion about whether or not they should have. So this is a personal decision. It really is a very personal decision. I personally believed I got COVID already last year because I got really sick really early last year. I mean, like February. I remember when it happened, and I've told this, and I've related this story on the show before, where I think I actually got COVID. And so I think I have the antibodies, but and because I never see people, I'm very careful about, I've got my mask with me all the time. So I'm one of those people who says, look, suspicious as you might be about the government or whatever, wear your mask, socially distance, wash your hands, all that stuff. I think it's just prudent. And because the vaccine is not just a black thing where they're saying, hey, we'll give you the vaccine, a la, the Tuskegee experiment. I know I said that out loud too. This is a global thing. I have no qualms about getting the vaccination, and I will do that. So that, and just because I think it's prudent, so that's the answer to that question. Yeah, and once again, I want to kind of reiterate this. The government is saying that blacks in particular are disproportionately affected by COVID, and then we're disproportionately not getting the vaccine. And what happened is a couple of things happened. One is during the run-up to this whole vaccine thing, we had a lot of politicians who came around, and they basically said, look, black folks, be scared. Black folks, be scared. Black folks, be scared. And they really kind of reinforced an already, I don't know, we don't trust, a mistrust with black people and the medical community, especially as far as vaccines go. So when the vaccine was developed in record time, you had some in the black community who are part of like the Chamber of Commerce and other corporate heads, black corporate heads, went out of their way to to be the guinea pigs to show everybody in the Black community that, yes, this is a good thing to do. They were vilified. I mean, they had Blacks across the fruited plain that said, no, you shouldn't do this. And you're just trying to, make, you're part of the machine. You're part of this, that, and the other thing. And we Blacks should resist this. Well, and so when the vaccine was developed, and it was fully developed, and it was proven that this thing, or reported that it's, the efficacy rate on it was very high, Blacks still did not trust the reports. So when they said, hey, look, if you're 85 years of age, or to down to 65, go get your vaccinations, Blacks didn't do it. It wasn't that we couldn't get to the vaccination shot, the areas. It's just we said, no, we're not going to go get these shots. People already told us don't do it. So you have a lot of Blacks, especially older Blacks, who remember the Tuskegee vaccination scandal, said, we're not going to be a part of this. No way. I'm not going to be a part of this. And so you've got a lot of Black folks, even to this day, that are going around saying, don't get the shot. Well, that makes it tough, because if we don't get the shot, we run the risk of getting sick. And if we run the risk of getting sick, based upon what we're hearing in the COVID reports, we are disproportionately affected by it. So you don't get the shot because we're scared, and we get sick, we die. And so it's a kind of a crazy thing. So my reasoning for this is, one, it's smart. Number two, it is global. It's not just us getting it. Everybody's getting the shot. And number three, if you don't do it, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen to you. Okay. You're just risking your lives. So that was Nikisha, right? Yeah, sure was. This is Open Mic Friday, the Sherman Wright, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Once again, I want to show you our website because I think, a lot of people have not seen the website yet. And this is just another page off our website. I'm going to show this to you real quick here because I know a lot of people have not seen the website yet. And we do have a page on there that it's just got videos on it. It just has videos of yours truly, of course. This is one of the pages of it. And over the last year or so, we've done quite a few videos. This one's 7 steps, powerful steps, planning your best year, 2021, which is great. I really highly recommend that. And it goes down the goal setting, cryptocurrency, which is huge right now. So that's a crazy one. Networking, which I do all the time, just network. We have some interviews on here. This was Jo Cato. So she did a great interview with us. So I'm just so excited about that. Branding, and it goes on and on and on. So if you would like to check out our website, blacksuccessmagazine.com, the page is up, and I think you're going to enjoy that. There's another, and once again, this is Open Mic Friday. If you've got a question you'd like to ask me, just go ahead. Especially if you're in the chat room, we'll definitely, I can see your questions. It might take me a minute to actually see it, but in the time we have remaining, definitely drop a question in there, and I'd love to hear it. We do get a lot of emails in, so I got a couple more questions there. If you'd like your question read on air, just send me an email, info@blacksuccessmagazine.com, and you can check that out. There's a question by Lottie. Yeah, Lottie. Oh, that's my sister-in-law's name. Hey, I wonder if that's my sister-in-law. Could be. She says, yeah, family loves you. Family is really cool. I'm hearing that old school turntablers are coming back into popularity. Come on. What do you think of vintage vinyl records? Oh, yes. I'll tell you, there are people that this is their wheelhouse. This is all they do. It's all they talk about. Vintage vinyl. And you cannot, matter of fact, I listened to, and I've talked about this before, I listened to a lot of old jazz music. And old jazz music is much better than the new stuff. The new stuff is digitally mastered, it's digitally produced. It doesn't have the same stuff to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the same. It's kind of like Ella Fitzgerald is light years ahead of new stuff. I mean, just and even the new singers will tell you, oh gosh, look back towards people like Ella and people like that. And so old vinyl records are where it's at. There's just absolutely no comparison. The new digital stuff, yes, it's mastered, it's cleared. But the stuff they do to people's voices now, the stuff they do to instruments, it's not really. It's the comparison is. I don't know if you can compare the two, because they could take right now. They could take a new guy with no talent, but he's got the good look. You know what I mean? They got some singers that they're just good looking singers. They're like the Milli Vanilli, right? I hate to put it that way, but right now you have a bunch of Milli Vanilli guys. In the old days, you had people who had to have talent. So like this morning, I listened to James Brown, some old James Brown stuff that you haven't heard this stuff. Nobody's heard this stuff. They listen to it in England. We don't hear it here, but James Brown was just a talented brother. I mean, just talented. As a matter of fact, I believe Bootsy Collins, I think it was Bootsy Collins was his bass player when he was like 16, 17 years of age. He had some talented folks that were backing him up that just could play. So when he would go, that kind of stuff, that stuff is emulated now because those guys know now that that was where the talent was at. The talent was James Brown, Ella Fitzgerald, Satchmo, people like that. And they produced all their stuff on vinyl records. As a matter of fact, there are some people that are still doing analog studios, which is unheard of. I mean, it takes a long time to do an analog, album because you have to clip tapes on reel to reel and stuff like that. But the artistry that it took to do that cannot be reproduced to this day. It's just a different era. That was the era I was able to witness. And I'm lucky, and a lot of people who are my age are lucky. We were able to see the old. We are part of the new, and it's a beautiful thing. So yes, I really appreciate the whole vinyl thing, and you can't reproduce it, and that's my viewpoint on it. How much time we got left? Oh, a couple minutes. I got a couple more questions here. This question, Francis from New Albany. I would assume that's New York. I've never been much on taking hikes or the outdoorsy kind, or you're not an outdoorsy kind of person. Where would you suggest I start? I hear I'm missing out on a lot of fun. Oh, well, it's true. And a lot of people aren't. I mean, they're not outdoorsy people. So where do you start? I would say start in the park. Start in the park and just start walking. There are groups, especially on Facebook. I'm part of one of these groups. It's so funny. I'm part of one of these groups. It's a hiking group, and they give you information on the best places here in Las Vegas where to go. There's all kinds of stuff. We are very lucky here in Las Vegas because we have mountains, we have the lake, we have true mountains, we have true lakes where you can actually go and run around. Plus we have the desert. We have history here. So a lot of these folks over the years have said, hey, look, why don't I tell all my friends about it? So I would say for you, if you just don't know anything about it, go on one of these Facebook pages, and it's not hard to actually hook up with these people. And because a lot of them are saying, hey, does anybody want to go with me to, I would say take a friend with you. Okay. But, you want to be careful because there's still nuts out there. But if you want to go with somebody, hook up on one of these Facebook groups, and you can actually go out and check out some new places. I've gone to some really neat places. this year already. Did some last year. We'll do even more this summer. I'm looking really forward to this summer. As I get older, I'm getting more and more to the point where I just want to get out and explore where I live. And there's really no reason why we don't, especially during COVID. I think we learned something about in COVID is that I know what my house looks like. Okay, I know what, especially my office. I know my office inside and out because I spend so much time here. I'm going stir crazy. I want to get out. So anytime I can get out of the house, you can do it. Get out of the house, folks. You need the fresh air, the sunlight. Lose some of those COVID-19 pounds, because I think pretty much everybody's gained about 19, 20 pounds. I know I have gained a lot of weight. So, you've got to just get out there and do some stuff in life. And hiking, getting out there is a great idea. Okay. I've got one more question. I think we got time for one more question. Yeah, we do. I own a small manufacturing business. Oh, congratulations. This is King from Delaware. He says, we need to expand, and I know a millennial will apply. He sounds like he doesn't. He's not really happy about this, I can tell. Can you give me your take on why they are so different? You're talking about millennials. I know you are. Yeah. Oh, gosh. And it's funny. I just had this conversation with somebody. So millennials are different. Can we be honest here for just a minute? Millennials are different. It's neither good nor bad. They're very different. We look at, let's just do a real brief history thing. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to do this really quick as I can. Old school folks that we're talking about, people who we remember, people born in the 1920s, 30s, something like that. They were of that rugged, pick up yourself by your bootstraps type of personality. Don't help me because I can help myself type thing. I'm not going to receive any welfare, that kind of stuff. Those are the people of the greatest generation. Will never accept a dime from the government. And as people got older and older, the generations changed. My generation, which was the 70s kids, we're the me generation. So we're very me. So we're very narcissistic, and we're fun-loving, carefree. We're your leaders right now. I know that's kind of funny. We are the people Barack Obama was my generation. So he and I are the same age. And so we tend to be a certain way also. We have certain mores. We look back at the past and we know about the past. We're looking forward to the future because we're part of the future. We're the first generation that actually got to embrace the computer age, because that's when we were a part of that computer age generation. Millennials are our kids. So our kids. And so if you were raised by a baby boomer, which I am, there is a strong likelihood that you are either a love child, okay, which was like the hippie kids that said, hey, I'm going to let my kid do whatever they want to do, or you are probably going to be somebody who's had strict parenting, which I was, and who was more traditional. And the kids who were kind of more hippie, kind of like do whatever you want to do, those are the millennials. Their parents basically said, you do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to say anything to you. You can believe what you believe. You can have no boundaries and everything else. You win at everything. There's no winners, no losers. So as an employer, you've got to start understanding that you've got some barriers to break down. I would say, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, on Monday, because we're running out of time here, but we'll talk about this on Monday. We'll talk about millennials and how you probably should handle millennials, because they're just a different breed of people. Okay. Anyways, folks, I hope you have a good Friday. Today is just a day. I mean, it is the day the Lord has made. Have a wonderful Easter weekend. And we'll see you again Monday for Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Go to our website. It's up, it's running at blacksuccessmagazine.com. Folks, we thank you so much for being a part of the show. This has been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We will see you again Monday, 8:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.